Hey everybody, today we are going to be making a fall faux leather sweater pumpkin wreath with Dollar Tree items. I have this grapevine wreath that I've been reusing over and over again. And then I have some of this Dollar Tree eucalyptus garland that I've had on hand for quite a while. And what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to take it and I want to wrap it around the middle of the wreath, not around and around and around. So right now what I'm doing is I have some floral wire and I'm just wrapping the very tail end on the back side of the wreath, and then I'll bring it around to the front and then I'll run that down the middle. So what we'll do is I'm tying this very securely, and then I'm just going to take my clippers and clip them, and then I'll tuck that metal back in there, and that way if you run your hand down the back of it you won't get stuck with it. And then we'll just flip it over, and then I'll just start lining this up and just getting an idea of what it's going to look like. And what I used to do always was I would buy garland. I would end up buying a couple strands of it, and then I would wrap it around the entire wreath, and it would just be end up very pricey. So with this I just have my $1.25, I think it may have been $1 at the time, and I'm taking the floral wire and I'm just cutting some pieces off of the floral wire. And this is a straight strand of floral wire, but Dollar Tree does have the one that's on a spool and it wraps around, and that'll work too, but this is just what I had. And I'm gonna try to put these on the thicker part of the vines because it's easier to attach them, but sometimes you can't always get it onto the thicker vine, so you do have to use some of the thinner little vines there. But for the most part I think I was able to get it wrapped onto here. I have a part right here that sort of bottlenecked when I was putting it down. Got a little bit ahead of myself. But I finished wrapping everything on, and here is one of those sweater pumpkins. And it's a pick, and it does have a long stick on it, and it'd be great to put in a vase or something. But what I did was I cut them shorter with a little hacksaw, and I took the pink and the ivory and the light blue. I thought those three colors would be pretty. And then, with cutting off the part of the pick there, the stick, I was able to just, place them in between. And I found a good spot for those two, but I was determined to have the light blue pumpkin at the bottom center. So I was really digging into those vines there to get a nice little spot to stick that into. And it wasn't easy. It just didn't want to go in there. So I just kept working with it until I was able to get an opening there, and then just pop it right in. And for these pumpkins, what I'll do is I turned it over and I just put a blob of glue on the back of the stem of each one, and that held them in place pretty good. And that's all it is really just a blob of glue all around them. And this year I found some of these faux leather leaves, the maple leaf, and I got a little crazy and I bought a couple packs, but I can use them as table scatter, but I open them up so that you can see them without the cellophane on them. And that's the one type of maple leaf right there. They're actually really big. And then this is the second type. It's a little bit smaller, but a different shape. And that's what those look like there. They're so pretty. And they feel just so real. They really do. But I just love them. And what I'm doing here is I'm just taking them and taking a look at them, moving them around a little bit, seeing what I like, looking at the contrast between the blue and, you know, the color of the leaves, the maple color. And I'll just place them throughout, just taking a look. I won't glue anything down yet because I just took, you know, I knew I wanted a little border around each of the pumpkins to make them stand out a little bit more. And then when I got them all situated, I just went around and found little bare spots and put pieces in that I thought would look good. And here we have some of those faux leather pumpkins. These are the pumpkins with the clips on them, and I got the sweater ones too, and I got them in ivory, and then I have that brown leather, and you know, and then these are great. They're little, they call them flocked balls, and I got those in off-white or the ivory, and in the light blue, and they add some dimension, some three-dimensional look. And then here was a really good, it's called foliage actually, but it's a pick, and I found them in the fall section. And I mean, look how many leaves you get on just one pick. And then they've got 3 groups of berries on each one. And I bought a couple, so I had some extra leaves. I figured I'd put it on a tier tray or some table scatter, because I put leaves out every year on my table. I live in Florida, and you know, we miss the fall sometimes, and you know, so we kind of do it up a little bit in our yards and everything to make it feel like fall. And this reminds me of like rosemary, the little sprigs on the end there. And then I just take them. They were real easy to put in, and I tried to direct them, you know, sort of upwards, but then after a while I think I just, you know, put them in where I thought they looked good. And just it adds, you know, an element of interest there. And, you know, it's just something different texture. And what I did too was I repositioned things and put leaves in. And here's the leather pumpkins. And they have the clips on them. So I just went around and sporadically placed them where I thought they would look good. And some of them can go on the outside a little bit. Some of them can go on the inside. And then I've got my ivory color. And, you know, I'm alternating and between dark and light. And then, you know, now that I've, you know, got a good idea of where I want my leaves, I'm going to glue them in. And then I've got my finger protectors, which thank goodness for those, because I used to really steer away from hot glue before these things. I just hated, I would just get burned a lot. Even if I used a pencil, I would always get burned. So these make me feel a lot better and safer. Every once in a while, I do still get, you know, drop some glue on my finger or something. And then sometimes when you press, a little bit of heat goes through, but nothing like what it used to feel like. So I have a good idea here of how I want everything. And I found this in the fall section also, and it's garland. And I wanted to fill in a little bit of the brown spaces here, which wouldn't really be a problem. You know, I mean, there can certainly be the brown spaces, but I just wanted to fill them in, so I sporadically placed some leaves and hot glued those in areas. And that other garland that I bought, there's quite a bit of green in them, so they have green and brownish in them. So you know, I just placed those in areas where I thought would fill it out a little bit more and kind of even it up. And now I'm going to put some of the little berry bundles in, and just little pops of color and little bits of texture all around. And I hot glued those in just on the stem and tucked them into the little vines in there, and they glued in really well, and I just pulled a leaf over them. I love this leaf here. It has just a touch of brown and, you know, the different shade of green. And I'm just going to hot glue that in right over here, taking up that space a little bit. Sorry about my hair. I was trying to reach over the wreath, and I think I was just a little bit close into the camera. But, you know, it was a little bit easier for me to reach the bottom. And then here I've got this Au Frais ribbon. I found this at Dollar Tree, but it was white. And what I did was I, you know, had it opened up. I took it out in the garage and I mixed white and blue paint and painted it. And here is just some burlap ribbon that I had from Dollar Tree. And I'm going to make a bow. And this is not one of my specialties for sure. So every time I make one, I do learn a lot. And I took a measurement here. I just thought maybe I'd get a little bit of an idea. And at this point, I really wasn't quite sure exactly what I wanted to do, but I know I wanted to use the burlap with that sheer light blue ribbon. And I try a lot of times not to drive out to the Hobby Lobby and everything, because it's over 45 minutes away, almost 50. And with gas and everything, I just try to go to my Dollar Tree. Dollar Tree is really close. So, and I have a couple near me. So what I'm doing here is I'm just going to make some loops. I folded it over 4 times. And this way I'll have 2 loops, and I'm going to glue those together. I positioned these in an X, and I don't really think that was going to work out. So I eventually do stack those burlap loops on each other. And then here is the experimental ribbon here. This ribbon is very sheer, and that's what I wanted. And it does have a little bit of wiring, not as much as I wanted, but you know, it worked, and it sort of held the shape, but you know, it all worked out. You know, in the end, it all worked out. So it was pretty good. And I was able to get the color because I was trying to pull out the color of that light blue pumpkin. So I really like that. And here I'm making loops, and I'm just going to do the same thing that I did with the other burlap, is just, you know, cut them and then hot glue them into loops there. Okay, and I have my loops done, and I just tied them in the center with jute twine, leaving some, you know, extra tails on the end there, so that I would be able to tie the bow onto the wreath. And then here I put a piece of the blue ribbon underneath the burlap ribbon just to make that little, cross loop there. It was very sheer and you could see the jute twine. So I thought that would be a great way to cover that up a little bit. And it turned out really good. So I'm just going to glue these pieces together here and get my nice little loop in the middle. Alright, and I've got that little stack set up with my little loop across the middle, and I'm gonna make some tails here. I could have probably left that straight out like that and it would have been fine, but for some reason I had it in my mind that I had to have these tails. So I'm just going to fold this in half and then sort of make a triangle, bend it over a little bit. I'm just trying a couple things, and I think that'll work best this way. And I'll put some hot glue on there to get that all glued into place. And here we have our wreath, and I'm gonna get the bow put on there. And what I did was I took a little bit of the jute twine and just tied it onto some of the pieces there of the grapevine, like the thicker grapevine. And this way I figured if I did that, I used to try to do both, where I would put in the, put it all the way through and try to get a hook on the back, but I don't do that anymore. I just tie my bow on and then I put some jute twine on the back and just tie it through, not just a little loop, but a big loop, through two sides. And this way, when I put it on my door, I can move it back and forth and get it centered. All right, and here is our finished wreath. And I just love the way it came out. It makes me feel just like a warm, cozy fall, like a sweater. And it makes me feel like I want to have a latte or something, or pumpkin spice latte, or warm apple cider, something, just something that you can cozy up to. And I just, like I was saying before, I always miss fall. And this is just such a good reminder of fall and really makes me feel like I'm there. And then, I like to put around some cinnamon sticks and things like that, and different scents that just make the whole house smell like fall. I hope you like this as much as I do. I had so much fun making it. I just love the way it turned out. guys, crafting and DIYing is a great outlet for stress and anxiety, along with meditation, manifestation, and mindfulness. I have a free downloadable meditation guide that I'm going to put in the description link down below. It has helped me tremendously, and I just wanted to share it with you. It will be in PDF format, so you'll have to use a PDF reader or something like Adobe or whatever you use to view documents like that. I'm also working on an Amazon logbook for meditation, and when I finish it, I'm going to put it on Amazon.com, and I'll put that link in the description for you below. Thanks for watching my video today. I appreciate you so very much. Please like and subscribe for more videos like this one, and I will see you in the next one.